Hey everybody, my name is Josh Valencia, and we're going to be looking at a few plugins while kind of show you guys a neat sound I was able to get out of some drums, a different sound, something that doesn't really follow the normal conventions of what drums should sound like, but a good idea of what you could get out of a stale-ish drum beat, and using some plugins, some delay, some distortion, and some compression to really open up the sound, make it sound completely different, and really change the flow of your song. So for this particular example, the drum beat I was looking for was more of an industrial kind of sound, something that sounded big but wasn't too upfront, but kind of set the tone. So let's just give it a listen. This is with everything on. I'm gonna go ahead and bypass everything later on, but just listen to what the goal was. Again, this isn't exactly what I used, but this is as closest to what I can show you. Let's give it a listen. So right there, you guys could hear it is a pretty, salient drum beat, nothing too nuts. But with that, we added the nice delay from Echo Boy, some support pieces like the compressor and the and thump there. But let's go ahead and give it a listen with just Decapitator. So I'm gonna go ahead and bypass the rest of these, like that. And what I'm doing with Decapitator, just so you guys know, I just turned on the plugin and started fooling with knobs. So this isn't actually a preset. So what I did is I turned on Punish because I knew that I wanted something that was going to really thrash. So what I did is that I used the drive knob. I'm at 6.7 just so I know for next time. But I used the drive knob to kind of get the sound I was looking for. So basically at startup, it's down here. Let's go ahead and listen. And I'm going to move that drive knob up. So as you guys heard right there, Punish does a lot. It really drives Decapitator really, really hard. And I felt like at around 6.7 where I'm at, it didn't drive it too hard to make it, inaudible. So yeah, once I got up to 10, you could still tell that there were drums back there, but it was still a little muddy. It was a little too much distortion is what I'm trying to say. So what I had, I settled there. I went on to my low cut. Didn't want to do anything there. I had thump down. For some reason or another, I knew that I was going to use Thump, the plugin here, to go ahead and supplement any low end I was going to lose, so I was okay with not having it in here. I wanted it to sound a little darker, the distortion, so I went ahead and changed that. Then high cut, I wanted to bring it back a bit, so let's listen. I'm going to just bypass this as we're listening to it. So you could really hear that it's just softening up the hi-hat and just tightening up a little bit of the snare. I found that really, really nice and pleasing. You will also notice that I'm not totally mixed in. I'm at 52.5%. So that makes it so that we still hear some drums even at 10, but we hear a nice, rich sort of distortion going in. And I do have it in Trident T mode here. Output, nothing great here. I have it set to auto, so that's that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next plugin here, Metric Halo Thump. Let's go ahead and hear what that's doing by itself. So what that's doing is that it's bringing more focus to the kick. For this particular song, I really, really wanted kick focus, something to really make the kick pop and make it the driving force of this beat. You could hear with Decapitator that the bass is really what drives how hard it's crunching, so I wanted to accentuate that. But at the same time, since it was crunching some bass, I wanted to add some support. So what this does, Thump, I have a video on it, but it just adds an extra, cushion at the bottom by supplanting its own bass. So I'm going to go ahead and just juice the wet and dry mix, and you can see what it's doing here. Let's go ahead and give it another listen. So you could hear that that really tamed out the bass. I'm going to listen to it with Decapitator on. So you could really tell there that every time the kick hits is when Decapitator really crunches. So this was, again, another clean-ish sort of frequency to support that bottom end, keep it really nice. Now, this, I have to say, was pure luck of finding a preset that worked, because Decapitator has a billion presets. They're all sweet, but finding something that works well is a bit difficult at times, but I did find this awesome preset. The dual dot plexes, really, really nice. Has an echo plex added saturation to each repeat there. Again, dual echo, stereo, sounds beautiful. So let's go ahead and hear how this sounds like alone without Decapitator or thump on. So you could hear, as the delay decays, you could hear the stank that you get off of the echo plex. Adds a tinge of darkness to each repeat. Granted, there were none before that, so it adds a darkness to the repeat that, in conjunction, when I have Decapitator on, for example, and just Soundto and just Echo Boy, you could hear that it adds an extra layer of darkness to the already quote-unquote decapitated signal that's already like richer. Let's go ahead and listen. So Echo Boy does so many good things. On top of, adding a delay to this part here, it also went ahead and added, rhythm, added an extra layer to the song that doesn't sound too busy, but keeps on driving the song forward, and that's what I was looking for. So really happy with what Echo Boy's doing here. Again, you could just look at the settings. I'll jump into tweak. You can just look up this dual dot plexus. I'm pretty sure I edited a couple things. Not entirely sure right now, but again, great place to start off with, and then tweak it to your own liking. If we jump down here to the last plugin in the chain, it is the Slate FG Mu, kind of a little very Mu slash pull. I'm sorry. I want to call it a Puig child, but it's a Fairchild. The Puig child is the Waves plugin, but it's a Fairchild very Mu emulation fusion deal that Slate put out, part of their VBC pack. It comes with 3 compressors. This one is really nice for this particular reason. You could set it to mid-side mode, so stereo or mid-side here. And if you unlink them, these 2 parameters won't be chained together. And I learned this trick from my buddy Sean Coyle. Check him out. But what we're doing is that we're just compressing the middle signal. So up here, this is the middle. We're compressing that less than we're just compressing the shit out of the sides here, but we're compressing it, and then we're increasing, the makeup gain. So the makeup gain here is 3.1 dB. Over here should be 0. So it's 3.1 dB louder, but at the same time being compressed harder. So you could tell that we have a higher threshold, and I'm even driving the compressor harder with the input signal here. Nothing really changes. Over here, I just have the high pass filter in the middle for the middle. So let's go ahead and hear what that does just by itself, and it does a whole lot. And what you're going to hear is that it's going to open up the stereo image and add, again, another layer of depth to the drum track. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to toggle it on and off, and you can just look at what it's doing. Just check out these meters. You're going to see that this one's working a lot harder than this one up here. So you could really hear the room with, VBC FG Mu. You're seeing it just come alive, and all it is compressing and just opening up that room mic in Superior Drummer, which is what I'm using. It's just, it really opens it up nicely and gives it a nice, it adds character, and on top of adding character, it adds just space. So let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and add in plugin by plugin. We're going to give it a listen. I'm going to add in Decapitator next. So as you can see, just by looking at VBC, it's kind of the what supports all these pieces. That's kind of why I have it last in the chain. It's kind of binding them all together and at the same time opening them up. So it's binding them together so you can kind of feel them all as a cohesive unit, but at the same time opens the image up. So it's really, really nice to have all of these in conjunction. You could hear it with Echo Boy really opening up Echo Boy. So you could hear each repeat a little clearer, but it didn't muddy up the image of the drums. So go ahead, check this chain out. I did go in order, so it's set up as the drums going into Decapitator, then Thump, then Echo Boy, and then FG Muse. So go ahead, check this out, tweak it, let me know what you guys think, play with it, and enjoy it. Keep on creating, guys, and I hope to see you guys next time. See ya.